Good evening. It is Monday, October 30th, 2023, 6 p.m. This is Brian Baylor, Village Administrator for Hannah City, and we are going to kick off the Community and Economic Development Council meeting tonight. And I don't see we've got any guests online or in person, so we don't need to do anything there. In your packet, you'll see minutes Zach put together for the last meeting. We'll take a quick look at those, and once you're done with that, you can entertain a motion to approve the minutes either as written or as modified.
I'd make a motion to accept it as printed.
All right. Motion is by Tuttle. Second.
Second.
Second by Chatterton. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Good. Okay, financial review. So you've got in your deck a packet that looks like this. Just give you an update of where we are financially. This is through, so our fiscal year runs, May through April. So this is month 5 of the fiscal year. If you look at the TIF, this is year-to-date numbers. So the blue column down the center are the actuals. So we have actual income of $64,443. You know, I've got to figure out a way to delay our budgeting process a little bit because we're going off last year's numbers, but we know the numbers are going to be higher. So budgeting for the TIF is difficult. We've only got about $4,000 worth of expenses at this point. So we've got a positive variance of $60,364. However, 80% of the residential will go back to you guys. So a big chunk of that money will get redistributed back to you guys, the individual other taxing bodies. If you look at BDD year to date, this one's a little bit easier to budget for income-wise. We're a little bit behind, and I don't know why. We haven't been able to figure out why our sales tax for the year is down. Our general sales tax for all of the people all the businesses in the village has been down a little bit. It's caught up the last couple of months, but we got off to a slow start, so we're a little bit behind. And then our expenses are a little bit heavy right now. We divided them by 12, but they don't hit by 12. They hit, as we roll. So income's a little bit behind expenses, but we should catch up there. So year to date, TIF is positive $60,000. I talked about needing to improve our budgeting process and using Jacob Klein to help us with that. The rebates are still due, so that money will be coming out. BDD was negative. So our income is behind $3,700, but it's improving. And we have only 2 outstanding grants to pay at this point. And then if we look at total cash on the very last page, we have right now $272,100. I rounded it up in total cash. So in the TIF account, we've got $75,563, a year-to-date increase of $60,000. And in the BD we almost have $200,000 in there. It's a year-to-date currently decrease of $38,000 since our expenses are exceeding our timing on the income at this point. So things are financially, I think, coming together nicely. TIF's finally starting to make some money. We have one opportunity. Nothing's been set in stone yet, but we've got a farmer right here at the corner of Hannah City, Glassford, and 116 that's looking at putting in a solar farm. So it'd be behind where the Hermans own the frontage property there. So it would be behind that and behind Brooks. And they're estimating that would be an increase in our property tax, and that is in the TIF district of about $36,000 a year. So that would all be brand new incremental money coming into the TIF, which would be good. But slowly building up some reserves. Any questions on the financials? All right, as far as project updates, there's 2 spreadsheets. One is the first one is the residential program. So those in green are the ones that we ended up approving and moving forward on. Those in red were the ones that we ended up not doing anything with. The ones in green have also already been paid out, and then yellow indicates the one that we have yet to pay out for the residential side. And so what I did is I did the 75%, and then I did the actual, and you can see that we're going to probably be underspent. If Ricketts comes in and gets their full project done, which I assume they will, we're going to underspend on the residential side by $3,300, right around there. If anybody knows of somebody that has a project that they want to take a look at, I'm a little worried, and you guys can give me some feedback, but I don't know that I want to send out a note saying that we've got money, because then it's going to get confusing when we roll out the new program after the beginning of the year. And so even though we're about 3,000 light, I just think that money will roll over and we'll just spend it, in the future. But right now, everything's paid for. Hopefully you guys have been seeing them go out and taking the pictures with the big check. And so that's been fun. And Ricketts, this is the house that's right next to, what was it?
It was Buskirk's, and now
Buskirk's, yeah,
Sister Bees
or whatever. It's
something.
the house right next door to there that they're putting on all new siding and everything in that. So pretty big project, but that'll look nice when that's done. Have you seen where moving on to the commercial, where Rachel Sauter's building? They redid the brick and the windows, and that building looks really nice, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Yeah, that turned out great. So this is the commercial side. So again,
back to the residential real quick.
Yeah.
Would it be worth a while to just reach out to those other three that got turned away for various reasons to see?
we could. The couple of issues we had is, well, the new windows, that project ended up already being done.
Okay.
And then one of the other ones, we never, when I followed up, I never got any information, but the roof, gutters, paint, gravel driveway is a possibility. But I asked them for a second quote, I think is what the issue was. No, they didn't give me any quotes. I asked them for a quote and they didn't give me any. But yeah, we could follow up.
I just was like, I mean, if you just tell them
Yeah.
that, hey, we have a little money left at the end of the year.
Yeah, no, that's a good
We'd
idea.
like to resubmit.
That's a good idea.
That way you're not opening it up to everyone, but
Yeah, that's a good idea. I will do that. All right, so on the commercial side, again, green is approved and already paid out. We had some good projects. All of them look nice, I think.
What's the status on Zane's?
Yeah, I've got it under other business, but we can cover it now. No, Zane's has they've never come back and said anything. Through the grapevine, I followed up multiple times, but what I'm hearing is that they're having trouble finding the staffing for the additional bay, and so they've kind of been on hold until they can get that issue solved. So I think the Jacob and Klein people are on me because we've got an open ordinance that isn't being filled, right? That we approved, that they want me to cancel that and then redo it later if we want to. But I told them I'd do that towards the end of the year, give Zane some time, and I'll follow up one more time.
do they have to pay a fee to issue? Okay.
We waive that for these programs.
Okay.
Yeah. No sense in them paying us whatever, $50 or $100 for the permit, and then us turning around and giving them $5,000 back or $15,000 back or whatever. So we waive that on all of the permits for this. Yeah. The only one I have the paperwork on this now. The yellow one is the Rachel Sauter building. That'll be on the agenda for the November 7th meeting for the board. So once that's approved, we'll be done, and it looks like we're going to be within $230 of spending the total amount on the commercial side. So I want to pause here a second. What are you guys hearing in the community? Anything about the programs? Have you getting any feedback at all? I'm hearing there's a lot of pent-up demand. We're getting calls. When's the next set of applications going to be coming out? So I think people have heard about it, and we'll probably get a lot more applications coming into this year.
Yeah, I've only heard positive, how nice it is. I think it's like as we look to next year, is there any grounds that we'd want to give preference that we would like to let be known before we open the application? Like prior year, like how would we treat prior year projects that were rejected or tabled? Would we give preference to that, or is it still first come, first serve?
To me, I think the criteria that we talked about was twofold. One is what's the greatest advantage to the village, and then two, if two projects, all things being equal, if somebody got money the previous year, we would spread the wealth to those who hadn't got funding at this point. The two projects that are in red are, one is McGinty for, and that's under new business as well, the Hannah City Tap. We ended up giving them money outside of the grant program. We gave them $10,000 to do the sidewalks. And then the others is Zane's. So we really don't have any carryover year over year. But I mean, there's certainly ones I'd like to see. I know I've been hearing from Randy Massey about the old Casey's building. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to put in an application. I think the Buzzkirk parking lot might be something that because that Ricketts guy that put in for the house grant, I think he also now owns the old Buzzkirk building, so I think he might be interested in doing something there. I heard there's a new restaurant coming into what used to be the Wings place, KP Wings. So the Wings place had some interest in parking lot too, so I don't know if there's anything there. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. I've told the people that just because you applied and received a grant last year doesn't mean you shouldn't again. There's nothing preventing you from doing that. But I also tell them that all things being equal, we'll probably look to spread the wealth some. But I think for the first year, I was pretty happy with the biggest thing I found is that we've got a part-time contract guy that does our inspections, and so he took on a bunch more work this year. So we need to figure out a way to do that for him. But he's done a nice job for us. He's a good guy. Fireman. Pekin, is that right?
Pekin firefighter, yep. And that's all working out really well. We get to see the permits, and Matt and I communicate, so that's going really well.
Good.
Oh, Rademacher?
Yeah, Matt Rademacher.
Do you know Matt?
Yeah, from Glasser?
Yep.
Yeah, good guy.
Yeah, his dad built our firehouse in Tribble.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, so he was tracking his hours and everything, and then I finally just looked up how much we paid for the last 5 years or whatever, and it was always about the same in terms of, and we were going through an engineering firm, so we just kind of put him on a retainer. So some months if he doesn't do anything in the colder months or whatever, he still gets paid, but then there's other months where he's running pretty hard, so it works out all right. Makes it easy on all of us. That's an update on the grant program. Okay, now for 2024, I don't know if you guys have had a chance to review these or not. These are the ordinances that would, if you guys recommend them with the changes, and really the only changes we made were, we went ahead and made it formal that you need 2 quotes, and I did it for both residential and commercial, that you need 2 quotes. So it's in writing now. And then the other thing we did is we clarified and were more specific on when it's all said and done, we need your paid in full invoice, and we need proof of payment, canceled checks or whatever. But we just made that more overt in the process, because when we went through it this year, it seemed like there was some confusion about those 2 things. The dollar amounts all remain the same. Budget-wise, I think that's smart as we go into the new year. Timing-wise, my thoughts are just like we did last time in January. We'll announce that the new applications are available. We'll take applications in January and February, and then we'll get together probably sometime in March, late March timeframe, early April timeframe, and take a look at what we've got, and then make some decisions on which projects we want to move forward with, and then make a recommendation to the board after that. And then the new fiscal year starts in May, and grant money would be available then. So not a ton of changes, just those two things that you had told me that you wanted me to update. If when you're done looking through it, if I'd entertain the motion to either recommend these, we'll probably need to do them separate, recommend the residential grant program to the board, either as written or as amended, and then we can do the commercial grant after that.
So move as presented.
Okay, so they'll have a motion to recommend the residential redevelopment grant program for next year to the Board of Village Kansas City Board of Directors. Do I have a second?
I second.
Thomas second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. How about the commercial?
I'll make the motion for the commercial.
Motion by Tuttle. Do I have a second? Danny Pearson, second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Aye. Motion carries. I think we've talked about some of the other business stuff. Have you been by the Kansas City?
Yeah, the sidewalk looks great. I'm just wondering when they're gonna cross the goal. I mean, what's the plans on opening it up and
Yeah,
making it functional?
well, let's start with the sidewalk. You know, it's still got a pretty big lip there.
It does.
Yeah, and they're going to put in some asphalt. I just don't think they've gotten to that yet. So they are going to put some additional work on the parking area there. But it does look nice, and I think it's better for the water, the way the water runs there at the building. The last she and I talked, she was hoping that they'd be open by now. I know some people in the restaurant bar business, and what they're telling me is the gaming licenses are way backed up. Even when you change hands, you have to reapply. And I know they waited like 8 months or something to get their gaming license for a business that they bought that already had a gaming license. So it doesn't transfer. You've got to resubmit and go through the whole process. So I think, if I was to guess, that's what the holdup is. I've been in there though. She's done a really great job.
And there's how many apartments?
There'll be two. One's an efficiency apartment, kind of a studio, and then the other, I think, is a 2-bedroom. I don't know that for sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 2-bedroom.
Yeah.
Is anything upstairs?
No.
Or is there
No,
upstairs?
there's not an upstairs. It's essentially, from what I understand, the same layout as when Cindy had it. You got the
Actually they moved the bar.
well, I meant the
Inside.
apartments.
Oh yeah, the
The bar
apartment.
used to be on the east side, right? I was only there on rescue calls.
Yeah. Well, no, it's
Yeah.
it's amazing how much different inside it looks. It's really nice.
So do you know it's her intent to wait until her gaming license is approved prior to opening?
That's my understanding.
Okay.
At least the last time we talked, that was it. And that's a great candidate too, because we've talked with her about siding and roofing and doing some other things to that building, which would be nice. And we'd sure like to support her.
So you have two places with gaming right now, is that right? Warehouse and
Warehouse has gaming. Sportsman's Club has gaming.
how much does the village bring in roughly a year on gaming?
It's been a while since I looked at it, but 30,000-40,000, something like that. Something.
Yeah.
Let's see, it's Refuel. Refuel has gaming. I think they do the best. Their machines get worked harder than.
I know when they had the fire there, the Illinois Gaming Board was there within an hour and a half of the fire, pulling the stuff out.
Really?
Oh yeah, they come in black vehicles and take it out. I mean, gaming, just as you said, just to get the license is months and months and months. I mean, these people are very serious about it. So,
My understanding, though, a significant portion of that is the background on the owner,
I think that's true.
as
That's probably
opposed to the physical structure.
they probably do an
installation.
investigation.
So I guess I'm optimistic that that'll
Oh yeah.
be a little bit quicker for her just because
I
she
hope so.
has.
She has a bar in Gate City, doesn't
Yeah.
she?
Well, the people that I know, they own 4 bars. They've been
Yeah.
Oh, so
yeah.
my optimism just got squashed. Thanks, Brian.
Everything that the state takes forever.
Yeah.
My wife is training new hires at the hospital right now without a license because they can't get a license from the state. They've been out of school for 6 months waiting on a license from the state.
I guess I didn't have this under other business, but I am Roger Orr, who works for the village, is he's the street superintendent. But I've got him working on. We've talked about sidewalk projects and we've talked about lighting projects, and he's currently working with a couple of vendors to look at if we went 5 feet wide from Murphy Road all the way to Dollar General on this side of the road, and we also lit it. And just to find out how big a number are we talking about, and then we could maybe chunk it up. We could start from Pekin Lane to Dollar General, so we could get that done. That would be a nice addition already because there's no sidewalk down that way. And lighting that all the way through, so that would be an option. I know that the Heritage Senior Homes over here, they had a HUD inspection, and they may be looking at asking for some grant money to do some things because I think their loans through HUD, so that might be a possibility. I've got to check, but I think other government agencies can also look into it, because I know that the Park District was maybe talking about wanting to do something with their building and maybe have some grant money there. So, yeah, that's about all I know, guys. I think we had a good, successful first year. I think it went reasonably well. We've got about all the projects done, and I think things look nice. Anything else that we need to talk about or chat about? Or
I'm assuming that we'll kind of be dormant till the first of the year when the applications start rolling.
What I can do, like we did last time, I think I sent them to you electronically as they came in, didn't I?
Yeah,
And then we'll have a meeting, and like I said, my guess is we're going to have a tougher decision this time. I'm assuming we're going to have more applicants. This last time we kind of, we had to pretty close to the number of applicants match the amount of money that we had available.
So I guess that's why I'm kind of. So are we thinking that we go ahead and have a meeting in January, assuming we get the early applicants in and
We can,
early
if we
bird
want
gets
to.
a worm, or?
I mean, I don't know that. I mean, I plan to announce it the first week in January.
So maybe early February, give everybody a month. Well, it'll take longer than that for people to get, because we have 2 quotes in there. So I'm guessing we won't have.
Yeah, I think early March might be okay.
Yeah.
Because most people aren't going to do the work, as you won't know until April or May or
Yeah.
June anyway. So.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I guess but for us to act on it in a timely fashion to get the money encumbered kind of helps people to stop pressing to try to get contractors in. And so,
Sure.
that's.
Yeah. I was thinking March timeframe might be good. If we get a bunch in before that, we can meet before then.
Yeah.
We can play it by ear and see how many we get.
So if our application pool exceeds 25,000 in February, we should probably meet to
get rolling.
acting on it.
Yeah.
But your deadline will be when? Or do you have a deadline?
I'll probably tell them that I want them by early March. I think that's what we did last time. I think we got together in late March or early April to look at them.
So the people who got it this year, or the early ones asking for more next year, we're going to put those on the back burner.
Yeah, I think again our operating. I don't know that we got this written down or anywhere, but just kind of best projects for the village, which is going to do the best for the village, and then if there's 2 projects and they're equal, and somebody's received the money and somebody hasn't, that we'll probably fund the ones who haven't gotten any money at this point, and like I said, spread the wealth a little bit. But our mindset has been, other communities do it first come, first serve, but we've kind of been operating under the mindset of we want the projects that are going to give us the largest bang for the buck. And that's a bit subjective, right? You know, it's hard to. But I'm guessing our decision-making process this year might be a little bit harder than it was last year because we probably have more projects.
It's a good problem to have.
Yeah, I think it's, and I will tell you, I've had conversations with people that are frustrated that they're not in the area that's being funded, and I remind them that, you know, that's not created by me or the board or you all, or, you know, I mean, that's the attorneys going through the process of looking at, you know, income and housing and all kinds of criteria, the formula they use to determine where.
Yeah, but, I mean, overall, and I understand that, and I know where those areas are, but overall, vast majority is included.
Agreed. Yeah. Yeah. Well, guys, thank you. Appreciate your time. Appreciate you coming out. That was a quick meeting, but
You're welcome. I like meetings.
yeah, that's right.
You need a motion to adjourn. We can just adjourn.
I think we can just. You guys want
No, sounds good to me.
I'm gonna end.